Stop calling the public schools. They are not public. They are not accountable to the public. They're run by the government, they're regulated by the government, and they're funded by the government. They're also compelled by the government. They are government schools. Did you know the modern education system, when the government got involved early, I believe it was like early 1900s, maybe it was late 1800s, but it was modeled after the Prussian model that was intended to create soldiers and factory workers, but primarily soldiers, obedient little kids that grow up to be obedient young adults that can then grab a firearm at the will of a bureaucrat to go up a hill and shoot somebody else that was also a young kid that was trained to be obedient with a firearm to go up a hill. This is why, one reason why, the idea of war and the warmongering I've been seeing about the Russia-Ukraine thing, like, yes, let's fund Ukraine. All they're doing on both sides, Russia and Ukraine, is sending young men into battle to die for some geopolitical nonsense. And the US is just urging it on, helping it prolong, and basically helping both sides send more young men to their death. And it all starts here. Now, I didn't do good in school at all. I didn't do well in school, you could say, because I just said good. So there you go, example. It wasn't until I got out of school that I realized and was even celebrating the fact that I didn't do well in school. I learned on my own. I took the skills to become an entrepreneur. I read books. I did all the things. School didn't interest me. What they were teaching me didn't interest me. And when something doesn't interest you, it doesn't matter how much fear, shame, and guilt you try to inject into that young mind. It's not going to do anything. And now we're even drugging kids up because they're disruptive. Because they have, as they say, ADD, attention deficit disorder, which is defined by their standards as some kid that can't sit in a cold classroom listening to a teacher drone on, reading out of a book, and just like unoriginal, uninspiring, useless ideas. Not useless, but useless to the young mind because it doesn't interest them. Kids should be out playing cops and robbers in the forest, building things, getting hurt, not sitting in a fucking chair in a cold ass room, probably sleep deprived because they were up too late playing games or whatever, and then forced to sit on a bus to go to school. It was utterly miserable. I mean, I gotta give it credit though. Like, a lot of my appreciation as an adult is the fact that I escaped the prison that is the modern school system. And I feel really bad for those that buy into the system, the young minds that buy into the system, and they think that it's good that they're good at school. And then they get a college, and then they get a good job at McKinsey or some big corporation and that treats them like a corporate slave, basically, and tells them how to live and overworks them or whatever, and then gives them a measly little paycheck for years on end. And they think that's winning. It all starts here.